Alright gang, welcome back to our Triple Threat Challenge here on Zabby. It is September, rains in the forecast, and I'm very happy to announce that I have resolved, at least temporarily I guess, resolved the issue of downloading maps and other items from ModHub onto the Xbox. Now, a lot of you called out that I should, so I have my Xbox connected directly by actual Ethernet cord. It's directly plugged in. It's not on Wi-Fi or anything like that. But a lot of you told me that I should go and do. That was very expensive. I don't think I should have bought that much. Anyway, a lot of you told me that I should go and take it off the hardwire and connect to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi on my phone, and then try to download the maps again. For whatever reason, which doesn't make any sense to me at all, not even a little bit, that worked. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense at all. I've been downloading other games on my Xbox, not Farming Simulator related, with the hardwire in, with no issues at all. But going on Wi-Fi, for some reason, fixed it. I can't explain it. It's very bizarre to me, but it fixed it, so I'm not really going to complain. Nonetheless, I do have a new map downloaded, so now I need to do a little bit of prep work on that for a new series that will be starting probably a week from yesterday. Yeah, probably a week from yesterday, we'll have the first episode of that. So this coming Wednesday, really, which is going to be kind of exciting, right? I'm excited about that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've got a lot of ideas. This is one of the ones that I really was kind of leaning towards, and I think it's the one I'm going to end up going with. Now, I bought a bunch of seeds here because, well, our greenhouse was completely out of seeds, and it was not producing anything. So, I went ahead and did that. I probably shouldn't have bought as many as I did. That's okay, though. We'll use them. It's not, it's not like we're not going to use them. We will use them. But puts us in a bit more of a hardship there, I guess, considering how little money we have now. But that's all right. It is September. There's not a ton to do in September. There are some things we could do if we wanted to, right? We could put barley or something in one of these fields if we really wanted to. I'm not quite sure we're going to, though. I mentioned before I wanted to do something different on this field, which means, it may delay the ability for us to make money a little bit longer, but that's all right, right? If we're going to put something in here now, we wouldn't be able to harvest them until around now anyway. But yeah, I think we're going to do bean or buckwheat in this field here. I'm not quite sure which one. I'm kind of leaning towards buckwheat, I think, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. We've got quite a bit, actually, in our storage here to sell, but again, it's not really the best time to sell it. Canola's getting closer, which is great. That's going to be good money. Mustard, I think, is as well. Yeah, mustard is as well. Everything else, I think, we're going to be waiting for a little bit longer. No, peas are going in November too. Okay, good. So we'll make real good money then in November. But everything else, for the most part, is December or January, I think. Well, except for the sunflowers. But yeah, pretty much everything else is December, January. Sunflowers, I guess we could sell right now if we really wanted to. Price isn't terrible. 1154 or 1156, excuse me, is the best price. Not bad, but I'm just going to hold off on it, and wait. Let's get the full price for that, right? So we're doing our normal maintenance type of thing here of getting the peas out of the greenhouse so we can make sure that continues to produce. I think it's got enough for the rest of this month. Next month we might have to put some more stuff in there. Herbicides more specifically than anything else. I think that's the only thing else that's really low. Fertilizer, yeah. Water, sure. But yeah, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're doing well. Things are good, man. Things are good. Well, I hopefully they're good. I don't know. So, some work things. I've been talking about how work's been, a little brutal lately. It's going to get worse for me for a while here. I am not going to Toronto now, at least not in the next week or two, which I think I've kind of, mentioned that there's a high probability that I'm going to. So this week, man, it's been crazy. So this week, randomly, so I don't want to go into a massive, long-winded rant story about the company I work for, but nonetheless, long story short, there was a guy that owned it. He unfortunately passed away slightly after COVID. Was not because of COVID, but slightly after the whole COVID situation with the world where everything was shut down. It was then in the hands of somebody else interimly. The kids didn't want the company, so they were going to sell it, so another company bought us. Long story short, another company bought us. That company put in a new president. That president had been with our company for about 2.5 years now. And then all of a sudden, randomly this week, the company that owns us decided to fire the president of our company. So things have been a little bit hectic, and there's a lot of vision going on and a lot of eyes on everyone, making sure that things are, you know, working properly and questioning everything that you do and all. It's been a bit of a mess. And so I've been real busy. Not that I'm not busy normally, and I always do these recordings after work, but you get what I mean. I've just been working a little bit longer hours than I normally would, and things have just been kind of, well, quite frankly, nerve-wracking. So I don't know what's going to happen. I hope I still have a job. It appears that I'm still going to have a job, but I really don't know what's going to happen here. We've had 2 all-employee meetings back-to-back this week for multiple hours, and just talking about how it's going to be difficult. Things are going to be changing. There's going to be new people involved, and that's already kind of started. I actually have a new boss now. It's I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I guess all I'm saying is pray that I continue to have a job. I guess if I don't, you'll get more videos, so I guess that's technically a good thing. But at the same time, I'll be back in that, you know, trying to find a job as I'm laid off, you know, situation. And I think most of us, you know, who have been through that know that it's not the most fun situation in the world. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but I guess we'll find out as we move along here, right? But yeah, anyway. So hopefully you're doing better than I am. I guess I'll put it that way. I hope you're doing better than I am. Hopefully you're not running into that kind of an issue or that situation like I am. But you know, we'll get through it one way or another. We'll get through it. The nice thing is, you know, if it does come to that, we'll have to obviously make some changes to our life. I'm saying my wife and I, but realistically, we can live off of my wife's income. And obviously, we wouldn't be able to do anything at all. We'd be at home every day, but we can support ourselves just off of her income, so that's a good thing, right? That's something that we've kind of been preaching from the beginning, right? We don't want to be house poor or anything like that, right? So we wanted to make sure if one of us did lose our jobs that we could still survive. May not be great, maybe eating a lot of spaghetti and noodles and things like that, where it's cheap stuff, right? But we still can survive until one of us gets another job up and running, right? So let's hope that doesn't happen, but I'll keep you posted as I always do. Anyway, back to Farming Simulator. So a lot of you in the last episode or last couple episodes mentioned that, you know, this one, that you don't think it actually allows you to do any kind of milk. And I think you're correct. I think you're right. I literally downloaded it just because it was cheap. I didn't really look at it into major detail. But I think you're right. I don't think it does have any kind of milk, any ability to get milk out of it. So maybe we consider not doing that one, right? Like I said, I did download some other ones. I'm not really seeing them in here. Maybe I forgot to actually add them into it, but it doesn't really matter right now anyway. I did download more, I can tell you that. I probably just didn't select them before we loaded up the game. We don't have enough money to put them down anyway. All of them are more expensive than what we started with now. And even if we do some contracts today, which we're going to do contracts today, I should specifically state that we're going to do contracts today. But even if we do contracts today, we're not going to have big enough contracts to actually get us to that point. We're really not going to get to that point until it's time to sell all the stuff we have in the silo, right? So not a huge deal anyway. So there is a plowing contract out here. Probably do that one. It's a high dollar amount, which is good for us. $4,393. That's good. Another baling. I don't necessarily want to do baling. Oh, it's not square bales. It's round bales, so we can't even really do that one. The deadwood here is a really nice contract, though. That's a really good one. That's probably the most money I've seen on deadwood yet, I think. Or maybe there was a $2,000 one. I forget. But anyway, let's go do that one right off the bat here. Anyway, what we're going to be doing today is, you know, maintenance type of stuff like we already did, and then contracts, and then there's a chance that we may jump to October as well in this episode, just because, again, I'm not going to do an episode just to do 3 contracts and say, oh, that's it. We'll move on and start something else. Now, what I can tell you is there's really nothing else for us to do farm-wise except for turning the one field that we didn't do anything with that we're going to put our cow pasture in, right? Or our water buffalo pasture in this instance, right? Besides turning that into a grass field, which we said we're going to make part of that a grass field, we can do that. We could work on doing that today. But again, if we're going to do that, I kind of personally, I kind of want to wait until we actually have the cow pasture in, so I actually know, how big I want to make the grass field. I don't want to just make a grass field and then all of a sudden we're taking up part of that with the cow enclosure. That's just a bit of a waste of seeds and money and time and wear and maintenance and all that good stuff, right? So anyway, I guess we'll play it by ear, I guess is how I'll put it. We'll see what happens. Let's see, what else? Red Dead Redemption 2, my second channel. I've shameless plugged myself a little bit here every once in a while. Having a lot of fun with that one. I can tell you, bit of a spoiler, kind of, but not really. This coming weekend, I'm going to have an episode that releases that's almost 2.5 hours long. It's a very, very long episode. This last weekend, I did quite a long recording session. I was just in the mood to play, and I was having a lot of fun with it, and I just kind of wasn't really paying attention to how long we were recording for, and then before you know it, it's 2.5 hours. So that was Saturday morning, I think. This last Saturday morning. So if that's something that interests you, maybe give it a check out, or give it a well. I'm wording this completely wrong. If that is something that interests you, maybe go check that out. There you go. There you go. See, you figured it out. A lot of fun, man. I'm really enjoying that game. We're cruising along on that one. All right, we're missing one somewhere. Huh? Oh, right here. No, that one. No. That's one we knocked down already. Okay, so where's the one we're missing then? I think it's this one. I don't know how I missed this one when we were over here, but I did. Also, Halo campaign evolves coming up here soon, which is I'm excited about. I hope they didn't screw it up. I really have no... I know they probably did, because I just don't have any faith in them, but I hope they didn't. I hope it's good. Big Halo fan. Big part of my tail end of my childhood, I suppose. Before I went to high school, really, is when that came out, or right when I went to high school, I guess. All right, so I don't want to harvest carrots. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to harvest carrots. So I think we're going to do the plowing one. It really shouldn't be too bad. We'll accept it. It shouldn't be terrible. So, nope, we want the Dolts Far. Here we go. Just because it is a little bit more powerful, so it'll be a little bit better overall for us to be able to utilize in a plowing state. And hopefully after we're done doing the plowing, hopefully something else will pop up in the used market that's, a little bit more money than what's out there. But if not, we'll just kind of, we'll play it by ear. We'll take what's best for us, given the equipment we have, of course. What else? If you haven't watched, for whatever reason, if you haven't watched the Island Preservation series for a while, I recommend you do that. We are starting to really ramp that up. We've got a couple months before we're going to make... what I'm hoping is about $500,000, which by far will be the most money we've made on that series, and that's really going to start to propel us to the next level. I think personally, for me, I think I want to get the cotton harvester, because we're going pretty heavily on cotton, right? We're going pretty heavily on cotton. Should I go this way? I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go straight. Well, I say straight. It's not really straight. Kind of straight. So we actually just... tomorrow's episode... is it tomorrow's episode? Nope. Nope. It was the episode a couple days ago. We really amped up our production. We basically turned a Granny's sweatshop. We've got 2 Granny's knitwears going now. What it means is that, we should, in theory, be able to get most, if not all, of the cotton that we harvested processed by the time it's best to sell all of the clothes, right? So that's kind of the goal there. And if all of that gets done, it might even be higher than $500,000. It might be closer to $600,000 or $700,000, which is going to be insanity. But it'll be a good thing, right? Because, one, the cotton harvester that we're going to get is nearly $500,000 anyway. So that's going to take up almost all of the money that I'm talking about making right now anyway. The remainder of that we can, you know, spend on other improvements or buy more land, of course, which we need to do soon. We also, as I've mentioned a number of times in that series, we need to start, you know, getting ourselves prepped to start working on building the house, right? We are far in, well, not far, but in comparison to other series that I do, we are far into that series, right? We're in the 30s of episodes now, and you know, we need to get going on a project that we know is going to take a while. Now, to be fair, that project specifically, it's going to be a struggle, right? We're going to have to figure out what, we're going to have to figure out which actual house we're going to do, because the one that I was looking at doing, all of you properly pointed out to me that it's going to require the stone, the castle stone, which makes it even more difficult. So I'm kind of leaning towards against doing that now. I don't want to do the exact same house we've done in the past, so there's very limited choices when you think of it in that sense now. I guess the other option to go with, I'm actually going to turn this around. I know I've said I don't want to do this because it's super unrealistic, but I'm going to turn it around. It's a contract, right? I'm not too concerned about it on a contract. If it's our own field, that's one thing, but it's a contract. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really spent a whole lot of time at all in Mod Hub looking, but if you have thoughts, ideas of different type of houses that might be in Mod Hub to download, to do, I would love to hear them down below. I'm kind of looking for more of a log cabin type approach. The problem with what I'm stating there is that the only other log cabin one we did on our survival challenge, which is one of the series that we kind of first kicked off FS25 with. Wasn't the very first one, but it was early on. So I don't want to do that one again, right? Because I've already done that once. So I don't want to do that again. Sorry, I hit the microphone. So if you know of another one out there, maybe there's not. But if there is one out there that you think is a good fit for the Island Preservation series that is a log cabin or log cabin-ish, let me know down below. I'm really looking for something like that. If it turns out there's no other log cabin choice, I guess I'll have to make the tough decision. Am I going to make that series even longer than it's already going to be, because it's going to be a long series already, or do we not do a log cabin house, which that's probably what I'd be leaning towards, you know, was not doing a log cabin house. But either way, let me know down below. We'll figure that out when time permits. Now, for us specifically, we've got quite a bit more to do on this series as well, right? We're not really close on this series at all. We've got $250,000 of loan that has to be paid off. Might end up getting more when the winter months get here, when January gets here. Might end up being more. Thread 2 is all, you know, it's a randomizer, so you don't know. We've got, I think, 2 of our fields that we need, or 3 of the fields that we need. I forget now. Hold on, let me look. We've got 2 of our fields of the 6 that we are required to buy at the beginning of the series, so we still have a long ways to go there, right? We've got probably one of the larger fields, though, purchased, which is good. Right now it's a soybean field, so when that's time to harvest, we will get some decent money off of that, of course. But, you know, I would say we've got one other really large field, and then the rest of the fields that we have to get are on a smaller size in comparison to those other 2. They're certainly not small, but they're smaller than the other 2 I'm talking about. So, you know, we've got probably over, just in fields, we probably have at least $500,000 in fields. So 2 fields that we have to have is 32, which we have, and then we've got 166, excuse me. The other fields we have to have is 62, 134, which is probably the biggest one, 125 there. 62 is 48. The smallest one we need, I think it's 176, 46, but it has a bunch of trees on it, so it's expensive. And then 100 down here is also required, right? So, we still got a ways to go, right? We still got a ways to go. We're looking at probably $300, $350, maybe $400,000 in fields that have to be bought. Then the $250,000 loan. And then, of course, we've got to get the animals going, right? So that's kind of where we're trying to focus on the animals here soon, just because we're going to get some milk out of the water buffalo. Even if it's not the full 250 or a pen that it can hold the full 250, we at least want to get started on that, especially now that we've got, you know, significant amount of grass kind of loaded up, and we've got straw, right? So we kind of want to get that going. Now, a couple other things to note, really. I might consider, so, you know, we're talking about this field here, field 32, right? And not putting anything in there until next season, where we can do bean or buckwheat or something new, right? I'm kind of considering putting in something like vetch rye or green rye, because that'll give us more grass, right? And that'll be good. We can continue to store more grass for the cows. Now, to be fair, if we're going to turn part of that field into a grass field, will we really need all that grass? I don't know. Probably not. But you know, we could sell whatever we don't need, or we could turn it into silage or whatever, right? I mean, at some point, our hope is to have some kind of a bale wrapper, and then we can wrap, you know, some of the grass bales that we may not need, right? I mean, realistically, we're going to need the silage, right, for TMR, unless we decide to put down some kind of a production for it, which we probably will end up doing. I'm going to do the best I can. I mentioned this before, but I'm do the best I can to not utilize the silage stick or the silage pole in this series, just because I've used it more times than I can count at this point. I want to change it up, do something a little bit different, even if it means that the series is going to go longer because I'm doing that. I need more money, of course, to get something going, right? I'm fine with that. Again, I'm fine with that. I don't really have a want or a need specifically to end this series or the Island Preservation series anytime soon. I'm still really enjoying them. So I really don't have a reason to, right? But, yeah, we'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Real quick, also, I've talked about this, I know, a bunch. The shop is going to be going live this weekend. I don't have the exact time that's going to go live yet, or the day. It's either going to be Saturday or Sunday. I'm leaning towards probably Sunday. Just because Saturday I will be gone for most of the day on Saturday. We've got some family things we're doing, so it'll probably be Sunday. But anyway, that's coming. So if you do have any interest, or at least want to check out and see what's out there, as I always do, I will let you know. I will put a post out both within the Discord and within the channel here itself on the community tab. I will make a post about it with the link and everything to it. I'll start adding the link directly into each video moving forward once that happens, once it goes live, of course. And we're going to give a bit of a you know, go live discount here as well when it first opens up. It'll be a discount for probably a week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know yet. I haven't fully defined that, but I'll also have the store linked to YouTube. So on the tabs there where you go, you've got, you know, your home tab and then like your videos tab, your playlist tabs, etc., right? There will be a tab there called store, or it probably is already out there as a matter of fact, but there's nothing's linked to it yet. I will have that linked there as well, so it's easy access for you to get there if you're interested in it. Again, I'm not expecting or asking you to, but if it is something that you're interested in checking out and you want to purchase something, I would appreciate the support. I'm very, very happy with how the shirts turned out. Like I mentioned, I've got actively right now 4. I might be able to get a 5th one ready to go before we go live, but if not, it'll be 4. I will say, I mentioned this prior, but I will say it multiple times again, right, you know, leading up to when I say it's going live, and probably shortly after that, and then we'll take a break from talking about the shop. I will have other shirts on there that are not Farming Simulator related. I'm just going to be very transparent with you. I'm doing both my other channel and this channel together on the same shop. It's just easier for me to manage it, just like my Discord. I've got both channels on the same Discord. It's just easier for me to manage it that way. So there will be other shirts in there that are not Farming Simulator related. I will try my best to make sure that I have them segregated into their own columned areas where there's a farming column and then a, you know, non-farming column, whatever. But if you're interested in those shirts, they're going to be out there too. But really, I'm probably going to have 2, maybe 3 of the other channel shirts out there. So So somewhere between total shirts, somewhere between 4 and 7, I think, maybe. We'll probably be out there. Maybe 8, but I highly doubt it. It's probably more between... Well, I shouldn't say that. It's going to be a total. There should be somewhere between 6 and 8 out there. It'll probably be 6, but might be 7. But we'll add more stuff as we move along here. I'm not going to be... I probably won't be updating it every week, but maybe every month or two, I'll put a new, shirt or something out there. Sure, of course. So at the start here, really all you're going to see out there is going to be shirts and stickers. There will not be anything else besides that right now. Soon, future sense, we will be focusing more probably on getting some different type of posters out there. And that's a bit of shamelessly for myself more than anyone, but if you're interested in having a series poster, you can have that as well. Okay, so that's all done. So we can do one more contract, and then we have to move on to the next thing here. So what do we got? There's a fertilizing contract, which wouldn't be bad. Another harvesting contract for flax. I feel like we should do that. That's right down the road from where we are now. Let's do that one. Let's do it. We also got to decide if we're going to put in that rye, vetch rye or green rye down there in that other field. And like I said, I think it almost makes too much sense to not do it. It's going to be ready to harvest the time when we're supposed to be drilling it, right? I think. Let me verify this statement here. I would probably do vetch rye since we did green rye last time. So we put vetch rye in now. It'll be ready to harvest in April. April means we can put in... April means we can put in beans. Buckwheat is not till May, so it actually probably works out even better. So yeah, I think we're going to do that. I just think it makes the most sense, honestly. Now, we're going to be harvesting this field, and it's likely going to start, well, when is it? It's going to start raining on us? It might start raining on us, actually. Because it's a bigger field than it might intend to look like, just from the map there. It doesn't look like it's that big, but it is quite a large field. It's a lot larger than I anticipated it was going to be. So this is going to take us a while, especially with the size of the harvester we have here. It's just simply not big enough. Used market, I kind of flipped through this a couple of times. There's not really much out there. This would be nice, but again, I mean, we're trying to stick with the baler on this series and then the forage wagon on the other series. So, and I say the other series right now, what I'm talking about more specifically than anything, as I'm talking about the Island Preservation series. Anyway, we'll stick with the baler that we've got. Now let's see. How large are we going here? This is going to take us a long time, actually. Considering how much money we get out of this, it's not that much money, right? It's not that much money. If we had a larger harvester, that'd be one thing, right? Maybe we should have just borrowed the stuff, but yeah. The deadwood's only $750. That's not really worth our time either. The only other thing on here that would have been worth our time... Well, there was another plowing. Oh, wow. There was a huge plowing contract out there. That would have been probably better, but I don't think that was out there. I think that was after I selected this harvesting one, but maybe I missed it. Maybe it was out there. Anyway. That's all right. This will give us a little bit of extra flax that we can put in for storage here. Now, flax... We've done flax once before, but we've never actually put it in ourselves. But it's best to sell in December, so that's good. You know, we can get a little bit of extra money out of that. Probably another 1,000 or so liters, which I know it's small little bits here, but every 1,000 liters here and there, it really does help. I'm going to turn off the lines. I don't really need those on. This is more of an easier approach on this type of map where it's just the standard up and downs, mostly. We really, I know I've mentioned this a couple of times now, but we really need to get a power washer, like, badly. Like, this thing is dirty. Really dirty. Well, it won't take too long, gang. We're 10% of the way through. This really shouldn't take that long, but let's get to work. Let's get it done. Yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, we are pretty much done with this harvest. We got to go and obviously deliver all of this. I'm not quite sure we're going to be able to make it all in one trip. I think we're going to have to make two, and the second trip's going to be probably relatively small. But, yeah, field's done, so that's good. Just got to turn it in, and we'll get some money. We'll collect the money. Now, we're further along in this episode than I anticipated, but I think we can still probably get that field seeded with some... why am I blanking on the name of it right now? What was it called? Vetch rye. So I think we can still get that done today. It's not a huge field. It shouldn't take us too long to do. And again, that'll produce a little bit of grass for us as well for our water buffalo. Maybe we will get it all in there. Maybe we will. It's going to be close. But I think we will. Which is great for us. Because I really didn't want to make another trip. Perfect. Alright, we'll turn that off for right now. Where are we going with this? It's up north, isn't it? No, it's south. Okay. Oh, I think I know where this is. I think this is the area where there's... Or maybe it's 241. But I think this is the area that has the chickens roaming around, I think. Now, I am going to try to stop this like I normally would, right? I'm going to try to stop it and save as much of it as I can. And then whatever we are able to save, we'll bring it back and put it into the silo. So, I will see you at the sell point, and let's see truly how much we're going to get out of this. It appears next month we're going to have 3 fields ready to harvest, the soybean field and then 2 of our other fields. So it's going to be a pretty busy month next month. So hopefully with November being next month, we can sell some stuff. Yeah, this is where the chickens were, just like I mentioned. Hopefully we can sell some stuff and maybe get an upgrade to the harvester. I know I've been talking about, you know, doing the water buffalo, and we definitely want to, but I really think we need to upgrade that harvester. The harvester's just taking too long. I need something a little bit larger, so maybe we do that with the money that we make, right? In November. We'll still have some more money to make again. Well, I didn't stop it fast enough. I just sold it all. It's fine. Oh, well. It wasn't that much. We didn't even make $1,000, so it wasn't even going to be that much. I don't even think it was 1,000 liters. So, that's all right. Okay, so that contract is all done, so we can turn that in. So that should get us above 10K, which is a good spot to be in. $11,811. Can't do any more contracts even if we wanted to at this point, so no reason looking at those. Everything else is everything else is still cruising along nicely. I will meet you back at the yard. We'll hook up the drill, and we'll get that vetch rye in there. Well, it's either going to be vetch rye or green rye. I don't know which one. I don't know if we can do vetch rye in the drill we have. I think we can, but if we can't, then we'll do green rye, right? Okay, we're good. We can do vetch rye in here, so we're good. All right, so I'm going to get some solid fertilizer and some more seeds here from the buying silo, or the buying store, whatever, the buying shop, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a silo, but you get what I mean. All right, so that costs us, well, basically, near it makes no difference, $1,600 bucks. But that's good, though. It's full. We won't use all of this anyway, so it's not a huge deal. We gotta weave our way around this area here. So yeah, vetch rye will go in here. Like I said, it shouldn't take too long to get this done. And it'll be good, right? It'll produce a little bit of grass for us. And gives us something in this field, at least waiting till next season. So that way it just doesn't sit here for 8 months without anything in it. Alright, we are pretty much done here. This is the last little strip we have to take care of, and this is all said and done. Again, very, very dirty equipment. We really need to fund a power washer pretty badly, but anyway, that field's all done, and so are we for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button in the case you've yet to do so. They are free to do. It helps me out an absolute ton. I want to thank each and every single one of my members for all of their continued support. If you want early access to videos like this one, there's a link down below. Like I said, check out the second channel, check out the Discord, all that good stuff. I will let you know about the shop when it does open up. I'll have to I guess I'll have to change my my typical ending here to throw in the shop every once in a blue moon. Probably gonna be hard for me to get used to that again, but yeah, we'll be doing that very, very soon. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, gang. Thanks so much for all your support. As always, it really does mean the world, and I'll see you next time.